Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. And at the moment I'm answering lots of different questions from the viewers, and it makes it difficult to find a general title to put out on each one. But it is exciting and we never know what we're going to come up against. Today we're going to begin with a couple of questions regarding the unconscious side of our design. And we begin with a question from Boogie647. Howdy, I'm a 2-5 splenic projector, all centers defined except sacral, ego, and solar plex. My question is around authority. The channel 2838 that defines my splenic authority is fully on the design unconscious side. I've read that the design side is automatic and only apparent or made conscious after the fact. So I guess my question is, how can I lean into my authority more? How do I get better at following my authority, which is only unconscious? If I only become aware after the fact, how do I practice following my authority? It's as if I have to be in flow state and completely out of my mind to even benefit from my authority. Other details that may help: 28 is my design Earth, 38 my design Neptune. What a good question, Boogie. That really is a good question. Well, let me try and describe it in two ways. The first way is in relationship to myself. I have a lot of the archetype channel unconscious, the 34, the 57, and the 20. So that part of me, that manifesting generator part of me that is aware in the moment, is unconscious. And in that sense, I can be busy focusing on something on my computer, and the next thing I know, I'm in motion. I mean, it's really hilarious. The body just picks itself up and does something, moves. And since I've got an active body, and since I've been in the process for a very long time, I just let it go. I go, okay, if I don't go, okay, it just moves. And I find myself running around the place. But I can notice as I am running around that I am running around once I'm in motion. So that's how I deal with my unconscious side there. Now you have the channel of struggle unconscious, and it's the one channel that links to your authority. And I also have that, and I have that in black. So my conscious awareness of that is when I'm going into a struggle for purpose, I kind of can feel myself getting ready for it. The splenic awareness is there, is like, okay, here we go. And then I'm in it, and I'm aware that I'm in it. In your case, your body will already be alert to the fact that something is of purpose for you. However, you may not be in your mind. You may not identify with that. In fact, you won't identify with that. But if you find yourself being in that moment, if you find yourself moving into something because you're here to make spontaneous decisions, and you're moving into it and it's feeling good, the 28 is a feel good. It's your design Earth. So if you feel good in accepting the invitation in the moment, going through the open door in the moment, then you can become more and more aware of that. So in other words, it is a kind of a let go. You're right. There should also be some splenic sensations coming from you. So if you're going in the right direction, if you're involved in something that is of individual purpose for you, there should be these tingles coming out of you, or the electric shock that runs through the body sometimes, or the shiver that happens. This will happen to your body. You may not be aware of why or what it's about, but at the same time, it should still run through the body. So becoming more sensitive to the body's sensations and how important it is to have that connection in your making of your decisions should help you. As an example, you could be at a lecture or watching a lecture on the computer, and suddenly you find yourself really kind of locked into it. You're focused on it. Your whole body is kind of paying attention to what it is, and you're feeling this this rightness, this correctness for you. Now, you might not be aware of it in the first instance, but if you see yourself being focused on something in the information that you're getting, and there's an opportunity for you to move into something in your life, you can become aware of it in that way. You know, look at the body, begin to witness the body more. That's what I would say to you. All right, great question though, and good luck in the experiment, and thank you. And the next question is from Zain Zoma. This is their question. I have a question about how to correctly interpret your solar return. As it will be my birthday on Tuesday the 14th, I'm very curious about how, for example, the channel of mutation will influence me and all the other transits. Okay, Zane, well, you know, you need to really be trained in order to read a solar return chart. So there's no way I can explain that to you in the detail that I need to for you to be able to interpret your own chart in that way. All I can tell you is that it's very complex, because every single planet is going to be involved in your solar return. So you need to know about the planets, you need to know about the gates, you need to know about the lines, you need to know how to put them together. You need to see it as the weather that's coming to you. And in that sense, with the channel of mutation, there's going to be, you know, a rumble in the jungle. There's going to be a change in the order in which the energy moves. There's going to be something new that comes in that could kind of uproot you and take you into some kind of new work, or new and exciting thing that you discover. It is a shift. It is a mutative pulse. So the best I can do, given the information you've given me, is mutation is here to take the old and bring it into a new order. Something that you probably haven't done before, or it's taking it to another level, another gear. Or it could be something from the outside that disrupts the normal way that you know that you're living. But without seeing the chart, there's really no more I can say about it. So that gives you some idea. Your second part, the second part of the question, I also had a question about the variables and something I noticed within myself. I'm a quad right, so completely passive. But I do go to the gym and attend group lessons like body pump, kickboxing, and Zumba. But I notice with most of the lessons, I can't get into my body. Could that have to do with my passiveness? Or that my channels are all black, so that with my mind I have the energy, but my body has the imprint of a reflector? How does that maybe correlate with my passiveness? Okay, so let me answer that in two parts. The first part is, you have a passive body. This is not a body that is designed to be involved in a lot of calisthenic exercise. You know, you'll end up needing physical therapy if you push the body too much. So the body is here to observe, and it's here to be comfortable. It's not here to be active, and it's certainly not here to be active, you know, under a lot of stress over a long period. So there's that. Regarding you not connecting to the body, well, that is natural. There is no anchor in the red, so there is no connection. This is one of the reasons, perhaps, when you find yourself stretching a lot or trying to get into your body, that you don't really feel grounded in it. And that's simply a mechanical truth. It's there in the chart, as you can see. So there's nothing you can do about it apart from accept it. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for your question. And our next question is from 5Cat. This is their question. Thank you for sharing your experience and wisdom with us, Richard. I'm also enjoying exploring your human design app. Jolly good. Thank you for answering two of my previous questions as well. You're helping me to comprehend so much on a deeper level. More questions. Do you recommend any particular books or manuals to help us continue our studies? Also, if you have a completely open center, in my case, the root, does that make one even more prone to conditioning and following the not self in that open center? Okay, thank you for your two-part question. And I'm loving it that you're enjoying the app. It is quite something, isn't it? And there'll be an update coming soon. I'm working very hard on that at the moment. So something to look forward to. Regarding books, as you're getting into it, I think the first thing to do is get the Living Your Design manual, the student manual, which is available on my site, human.design. That's where I would start. And it'll give you the foundational platform upon which all the information rests. So a great entry-level book there. Now, regarding having an open root, a completely open center. Yeah, well, I have two completely open centers, the solar plex and the will. And my experience of those two centers, and I've got nothing going to or from them, there is no filter for me, nothing. So my experience is that I have gone through every single one of the channels that connect those centers to other centers in my life. I've experienced them. I'm open there. I'm white there. I'm here to learn in that field. And indeed I have all kinds of lessons. So in the root, when you've got it open, you've got to see there's no filters within it. So it's about adrenal pressure. You're going to be learning about being put under pressure. Now, there could be a gate going from the sacral or from the spleen or from the solar plex in your chart, looking at the root. And if there is, look at the white gate in the root that's looking to it, and that'll be something that you can tap into, that particular thing. So, for example, if you had the 28 in the spleen and it's looking to the 38 in the root, you know, there would be a certain aggressiveness that would come out of you possibly when you're under a lot of pressure and you want to get on with your own thing. But generally speaking, if you've got nothing pointing towards the root and it's simply the openness, complete openness, then it will be you again going through every single channel that can be adrenalized coming from it. I mean, you're going to learn about pressure. You're going to learn about exhaustion. You're going to learn about the fact that if you just go, well, I'll get round to it at some point, you will put yourself under more pressure because you don't keep an eye on the timing. And you will also find out, hopefully, that you can live this life in a more relaxed way without having to hurry through life. You know, these general things to understand when you're really tired and you've used too much adrenal energy in your day and you're driving your car, you know, you're going to pull in behind someone who's going at a good speed. You're not going to be overtaking them. You're not going to be putting yourself under more pressure, taking full control of the speed. You're going to pull in behind them and let them lead the way. And you'll find yourself calming down when you do that. These little things you'll begin to notice. You'll begin to become wise about how you can avoid putting yourself under pressure, not taking on so many commitments and things like this. So the answer is you're going to be learning about pressure. You're going to learn about being under pressure and also hopefully getting out of being under pressure. Thank you for the question. Good one. The next question is a technical one, and this is from Laura. Heartfelt gratitude for all you do in supporting those of us on the HG journey to navigate what can feel like a very lonely path. I've been following your videos since I entered my experiment 4 years ago, and they have been invaluable. I'm particularly enjoying the Q&A format, as it is so good to hear the questions that others are asking. I'm starting to feel like I have found a community who share my passion for this material. Well, that's great, Laurel. I certainly hope so. I have a technical question I've not been able to find an explanation for. How is it that when the design and personality activations take place at a completely different time, that they never share the same lines in their Sun-Earth gates? If the design Sun-Earth gates are line 4 and the personality Sun-Earth is activated 88 days later, why can there not be the possibility of there being a 4 also? In other words, why are there only 12 profile combinations? Why not a 1-1 a 1-2, a 2-2, etc. Okay, L'Oreal, yes, it is a technical question, and I am not going to go into the deep technical side of it because I think it would be probably incredibly boring for most of the viewers. So what I can say to you is it's really about the mathematics of it. But basically, I want you to think of two completely different circles, one in black, one in red, and think of them in terms of wheels with little notches in them, like cogwheels, you know. And if you're going to work at a 90-degree angle, it's going to get locked. In other words, the life cannot move. Life needs movement. At 88 degrees, it's like the cogs will fit into each other in the way that the whole wheels will turn. So that's, you know, a very simple explanation. But it is really about the line. Each line has its own arc, and the line is based on the angles of going around the wheel. So if I said to you the line arc is 56 minutes, 15 seconds, it's probably not going to mean anything unless you're being taught how those mechanics work. But that is, in fact, the line arc. I'd like to quote something from Ra, which will also emphasize this point. The perfect 90-degree right angle is very rigid, a rigid straight line. Meanwhile, the left angle is off. Therefore, it ends up weaving almost like a spiral around the right angle direction. It's a double helix seen in another way. Because we are in movement, everything is about movement. If you want to know the details of it and have a full understanding of it, that's available in my Rave Cartography course, which I highly recommend you get, because that will then take you into the whole thing at a much deeper level. And it sounds to me like you've got to the point where you really want to get into the details, and you will find all kinds of astonishing things there. All right, thank you for the question. And for our final question, thank you for the knowledge you share. I'm 36, and up until around 30, I really felt like a manifester. My profile is 1-3 with the right angle cross of rulership, and I have the heart, G, throat, and splenic centers defined. In my professional life, I've often been the one to initiate ideas and see them through. But as I've gotten older, I've started to feel more drained, especially in high-pressure environments with constant deadlines. Now I'm unsure which direction or role really fits me. I come from a business background, but lately I've shifted towards more human-focused fields like coaching and psychotherapy. It's been around 6 months since I started my own practice, but things aren't flowing the way I hoped. I've started doubting whether I can really work on my own. At the same time, being in a company is also a big challenge for me. What would you recommend for a projector with this kind of body graph when it comes to professional fulfillment? Okay, so it's really helpful for me to see a chart, in fact, necessary for me to see the chart, for me to be able to guide you specifically through the chart. But from what you've given me and from what you've said, the right angle cross of rulership contains within it the 45th gate as part of that cross. And the 45th gate is really about ownership. It's about, you've got to have your own territory. You know, this is why you're finding it difficult to be in a big company, that and all the pressure from the company directors or the executives or the company boss that are really getting you to work more than you want to work, that you really can work as a projector. So you're not here to be under pressure. You're here to learn with your open route that you're not here to be under pressure, you know, and sometimes as a 1-3, for sure, you're going to learn it the hard way, which is why you're feeling exhausted. When I think about you going off and doing your own thing and having your own territory and working at that all the time, I think, well, this isn't really going to work. You know, the working time for money as a projector isn't really the best thing. Although you can be brilliant at one-to-ones, I would be putting it more into you finding your own team, you delegating to people that can do parts of that business, perhaps that can do the marketing or whatever. You know, it's really about delegation and you being the boss of your own territory. So I'd be looking to bring in other people rather than you trying to do it all on your own. Now, again, some of these people can come in as part-timers. You know, you can bring in people that you hire for a particular job, but are there to back you up if it's technical, for example, if anything goes wrong, or they're there to create a marketing outreach program for you. Let them do that. Okay, build that into your budget, that you're going to need this interaction with other people and other people putting their life energy into it. I haven't seen your chart, so I can't really advise you on the particular thing, which is a bit frustrating for me. But that's what I'd say. I would be looking to delegate. I'd be looking to see what my specific area of expertise is, and I'd be digging deeper into that, you know, to find my own unique selling point in the service that I can offer if I were you. After all, 1-3s are designed to dig deep. They're designed to be experts in their field. And as a cross of rulership, if you're an expert in your field, you rule that territory. And people will come to you because you're that expert. But you don't have to do all the work to get them in. And you don't have to do all the technical work. And you don't have to do all the administration work. You know, that's for someone else. So generally speaking, without the chart, that's what I have to say to you. Hopefully that is going to be helpful. Good. And I hope this has been a helpful video for the viewers as well. And if it has, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. See you then. Bye.